The big wide world is a wonderful place. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for these, most of us would get lost pretty quickly. So we thought it was time that we ditch the tech and let's see if we can find the right direction just using the gifts that nature gave us.
Where the waves will lash the scudding clouds and legends will be born. Where spring will brush my flying cloak and dance between the trees. Where the very force of nature brings this island to its knees.
First up, let's draw inspiration from the best natural navigators there are out there, animals. For example, the tiny dung beetle. Yes, indeed. The insect famous for literally rolling bowls of poo. Amazingly, they use the stars to figure out which direction to travel in. And pigeons have the amazing ability to travel hundreds of miles to a very specific location. Scientists believe it's down to a magnetic portion of their beak and special cells in their eyes, which give them the ability to navigate using the Earth's magnetic field. And now it's your turn to channel your inner dung beetle, unleash your inner pigeon, as we're going to show you how to use nature's clues to get from A to B. So first up, here's how you can find your way just using the sun, some sticks, and a shadow. You're going to need a big long stick, maybe about 1 meter tall, and shove it in the ground. Then what you do, put a smaller stick in the end of that shadow from the largest stick. Then wait 20 minutes and the shadow will have moved. So you take another stick and you put that at the end of where the shadow now is. So you've got 3 sticks in a row. Take a nice straight stick and put it against your smaller sticks. The first stick you put in is your west marker, and the last stick you put in is your east marker. And so you can take another stick and put it across that one, and in this way you end up with north, south, east, and west. Perfect. But what happens when the sun goes down? The night sky is totally full of stars to help us navigate. In the northern hemisphere, there's one star in particular that's really helpful for navigation, the northern star. And here's how you find it. First of all, you've got to find a collection of stars known as the Big Dipper. They look a bit like a saucepan or a wheelbarrow. But conveniently, the Big Dipper is probably the most recognizable collection of stars in the northern hemisphere. So once you've found it, find the 2 stars that make up the side of the Big Dipper and follow an imaginary line from those 2 stars and follow those up to a bright star that forms the tail of the Little Dipper, which looks a bit like a kite. Now that bright star is Polaris, or the North Star, and conveniently it aligns with the Earth's true north. So find Polaris and you find north and you know where you are. This actually only works when you're in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, the constellations are actually different, so there you have to look out for the Southern Cross. So what if you're out in a forest and there's no sun and the stars aren't out yet? Then you're completely lost, right? Well, not necessarily, because trees actually hold a lot of clues to direction. First up is the tick trick, where the shape of the tree can literally point you in the right direction. In the northern hemisphere, the sun spends most of its time in the southern part of the sky, which means that branches that are on the southern side of the tree tend to be more dense and they grow out sideways, reaching for that sun's exposure. Whereas on the northern side of the tree, they point a little bit more upwards, they're a bit more vertical. And what that does is it gives us a distinctive tick shape. A tick there, and a tick there, which in the northern hemisphere literally points us south.
The weather now is closing in, I'm heading for a storm, where the waves will lash the scudding clouds and legends will be born. Where spring will brush my flying cloak and dance between.
And then there's moss. Moss thrives on moist surfaces, but it struggles to survive in direct sunlight. And because we know that in the northern hemisphere, the sun spends most of its time in the southern part of the sky, then that means a southern part of the tree is most likely too dry for moss to survive. So, if you come across a tree that has one side with a lot of moss on and one side with not, then it's most likely the side with the moss is facing north. Now it is your turn. So get out there, try these techniques for yourself and see if you can find your way even when your phone is flat.